Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Super excited for today's beer because I think it's kind of weird. Coffee House from Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers. Nothing weird about Jack's Abbey. I love Jack's Abbey. They make some great beers. They make great lagers. Helles lager with coffee. Interesting combination. Not gonna lie, I've had my fair share of weird coffee beers, coffee IPAs, coffee lager. I don't know. I'm sure I've had it at some point or another, but I don't remember. So we're diving in to a Helles coffee lager. Just curious how this one's going to come down. We live for lager. We have here Kick Up Your Helles, brewed with Vienna Pilsner malt, Wegmans Donut Shop Blend Coffee. Okay, I did not read that. So Wegmans collab. Two of my favorite entities that exist. Full disclosure, I purchased this 4-pack at a Wegmans. So I don't know if this is like a Wegmans only jam. I'm here for it. We infused our house lager with Wegmans Donut Shop Blend Coffee to give your favorite lager a buzz. Drink Coffee House from morning to night. Naturally carbonated, 5.2% alcohol by volume. This has a date on it of the 13th of February 2024. We're the 20th of March 2024. A little over a month old. We're good. Label-wise, I mean, you know Jack's Abbey. Their labels are all pretty much exactly the same. Sans a couple like random beers. This is their new brand design. I can get down with it. I dig it. Their beers are good, so their labels are good. That's kind of how it works sometimes. So that's all right. As far as beer goes, definitely looks part of a Helles. Crisp, clean, clear, soft, no globy carbonation. A little bit deeper than a straw color to it. Yeah. Does it look like a coffee beer? I don't know, but it definitely looks the part of a Helles. Off-white head, maybe erring a little bit more towards khaki. Maybe that's that coffee kicking it up a little bit. It has a little bit of just, not off-colored, but just a little bit different color than what I expect from a Helles. We're done and done. Man, let's see what the nose has. Coffee dominant, but not huge. Helles lager, not the biggest beer in the history of mankind, so it's not going to be like a super showy beer, both from a hop malt perspective, even yeast-wise. So you're getting pretty much predominantly coffee notes on the nose, but again, very, very light. Since it's a lighter beer, that coffee's really going to shine through. I don't think it's an overpowering coffee flavor in the beer, but since it is a rather delicate nose, that's really what comes through. And it does come through as like a donut regular blend coffee. It doesn't come off with like a rich, ultra dark roastiness or any kind of overt fruity berryness or anything like that. It comes off as, I've had my fair share of Wegmans coffee over the years. It used to be actually my coffee place when I lived in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and Ashley, Pennsylvania. I had to pass by a Wegmans on my way to work, so that was my morning coffee, and I would get their darker blend, but I had the donut quite a bit, and it comes off as that nice, light, not super aggressive kind of donut blended coffee, at least on the aromatics. Let's dive in, see what the taste got. Cheers, y'all. That's good. I like that. It's really, honestly, no surprise here. Very, very well balanced. Very, very well made. Jack's Abbey didn't know what they're doing. The coffee, kind of, like on the nose, is omnipresent. It is the leader in the clubhouse as far as flavor, but you're getting a lot more from the beer on the taste than you are on the aromatics. Nice maltiness to it, almost like a slightly nutty maltiness. Maybe that's a marriage of the coffee and just that regular kind of beefier malt that you would get from a Helles, but it works really, really well. There is a touch soft bittering here. But when you add that coffee element here, where there's a little bit of roasty toastiness, a little bit of that bittering of coffee, again, everything kind of marries here. So it's really blurring the lines between where the hops are, where that coffee bean bitterness kind of lands. And then really what sets it apart is the two things, which is the lager portion of the show, super crisp and clean, really, really drinkable, and then the coffee portion of the show, which oddly enough, I was on the nose, I was like, nice coffee, soft blended, nothing really berry-like in here. No, I'm getting actually a decent kind of coffee-like berry flavor from it. It is roasty, it is toasty, it is giving me those roasted coffee vibes. There's a soft, like, red generic berry to it in a very tasty way. It's a really cool mixture, and it's made really, really, really well. Coffee, I think, can be. It's so easy to go overboard with coffee. It's so easy to go, way too small on coffee. And that can be the case a lot with bigger beers, imperial stouts, barrel aged beers, things like that. The things you typically find coffee in more often than not. The precision you need at this lower ABV, this lower kind of volumetric level on a beer like this, I think it makes it a little bit harder, to be a little bit more precise with the way the coffee hits on here. And I think they've done it in a very, very beautiful way. You are getting a hefty dose of beer here. It's not just coffee in a beer and that's what you're getting. No, you're getting, this is a beer that has coffee in it. It's not like a huge coffee dose that happens to be inside of a beer. And when you compound that with the fact that everything interplays off each other, the way the malt plays off that kind of nuttiness of the coffee, the way that bittering kind of plays off the bittering roastiness of the coffee, and the way that coffee kind of interplays with just a whole beer in and of itself, but nothing gets too heavy-handed to where one overpowers the other. Sure, like I said, the coffee is the leader in the clubhouse here, but it's not overpowering. It's a really cool combination. And honestly, pretty amazing beer, to be perfectly honest with you. Again, we can go back to the beginning of the video. Coffee Hellas, coffee lager. I know I've had one before. I can count probably how many I've seen or heard of in my life on my fingers. This is probably less than 5 that maybe I've drank in my lifetime. This is the best one I've ever had. But if we kind of do that, if we do the whole kind of, I rank it on my Mount Rushmore scale on what I think is a beer, is it one of the better coffee lagers I've ever had as of late? Yeah, well, sure, defaults to that. Is it one of the better coffee beers that I've had as of late? That opens up quite a large door. Yeah. Yes, Mount Rushmore status. Is it one of the better lagers I've had as of late? Maybe just on the outside looking down on Mount Rushmore. I think there's a couple that just, I want to put it up there, but I think there's 4 more I could find as of late that I've really dug a little bit more than this one. It's one of the more interesting beers that I've had as of late. I don't think I've pulled that one out of the basket as of late. Yes, that's definitely Mount Rushmore status. And a really cool, really well done, really kind of precision-like, surgical kind of execution of a beer in a style you don't see all that much. I dig it. I'm here for it. So yeah, this beer, like I said, Mount Rushmore status in certain ways, value and availability. I got it from a Wegmans. I don't know if it's Wegmans only. I doubt it being, there's a lot of Wegmans, so maybe it is. It doesn't say an exclusive on there, but I picked it up at Wegmans, so if you've seen this outside of Wegmans, please let me know. Jack's Abby pricing, I think this was a little bit pricier, maybe $15 or something like that, but I'm okay with it. And leave you with, if you like you like this. If you like coffee beers, you like lagers, and you want those worlds to collide, you will dig this. So there you go. Jack's Abby have been to the brewery that I have. Good pizzas, good beers. Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? Let's talk about it down there. What's your favorite Jack's Abby beer? Probably mine, honestly, it's probably going to be one of their maybe Smoke and Dagger. It might be an old Framing Hammer, one of the OG Framing Hammers, barrel-aged ones maybe. Who knows? Let's talk about everything down there. So hopefully you enjoyed our review. Hopefully you enjoyed, a little bit of coffee beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.